As you go through the never-ending dance of life, have you ever thought about how to stay strong in the face of every unexpected storm? Imagine that even during storms, you stay calm and don't flinch or fall over. If something outside of you is bothering you, it's not that thing itself that's bothering you, it's your judgment about it, and you have the power to get rid of that judgment right now. A Stoic philosopher named Marcus Aurelius once said, "Today we will open the door to the world of these words and discover the power of acting as if nothing can bother you." This Stoic lesson is not about denying your feelings or the reality of your experiences. It's about choosing your response, which is the only real thing you can control. Come with us on this journey to learn the Stoic keys to staying calm and peaceful inside, even when things are going crazy around you, and to cultivating a life of stillness and silence. Reigns supreme in your heart, let's begin your trip today with a principle that is thought to be a pillar of strength during life's ups and downs. Number 1, be ready to accept the worst. Stoics, like the famous Epicurean, teach us that we can't control the storms that life throws at us, but we can control our sails. When we accept the worst that can happen, we turn fear into foresight. Think about a difficult situation in your life, like not knowing what will happen in your career or having problems in your relationships. Instead of running away from it, face it with a calm mind. Get ready. Ask yourself what the worst thing that could happen is and get your mind ready for that option. This way, you're not giving in to fear but taking away its power to make you feel bad. You're making sure that no matter what happens, your spirit stays strong and your resolve stays strong. Tell me about Epicurus, a great Stoic philosopher. Born into slavery, he became one of the most enlightened thinkers of his time because he knew that our actions, not our circumstances, define us. He was open to the worst loss, suffering, and adversity, and in doing so, he found an unbreakable piece of himself. Epictetus's story shows that this Stoic practice doesn't take away from the joy of life, but rather adds to it. It helps us go through our days without fear, but with a deep sense of peace and readiness. So let's embrace this first principle and make it a part of who we are. By being ready to accept the worst, we unlock a paradoxical freedom and serenity that comes not from the lack of storms, but from our unassailable get ready to face them head-on, and let this Stoic advice guide you. Turn every possible problem into a sign of your strength and a step toward your personal growth and tranquility. Number 2, be aware of the dangers of fortune. Think of fortune as a stream. As our lives wind through landscapes that are sometimes nurturing and sometimes eroding, the wise and grounded Stoics tell us to stand on the riverbank and enjoy the flow of the water, but not build our homes too close to the edge, because just as the river gives life, it can also take it away when we least expect it. When we talk about the story of luck in life, we can't leave out philosopher Marcus. Even though he was emperor, Marcus reminded himself every day that his power and glory were only temporary. He knows that tying his sense of self to these fleeting gifts will leave him vulnerable to chance. Now, think about your own experiences with fortune's favor and its caprice. How often have we been happy about a windfall or sad about a loss? Stoicism leads us to a steadier path where we can enjoy fortune's blessings without clinging to them and be ready for its withdrawals without being upset. It teaches us to find our balance not in the external ebb and flow of fortune, but in the steadfastness of our character and the pursuit of virtue. By becoming more aware of fortune's dual nature, we protect ourselves against complacent decency in times of plenty and despair in times of scarcity. We learn to enjoy the fruits of fortune without becoming dependent on them, finding our happiness not in the gifts of fate, but in how we react to them. By doing this, you will not only protect your tranquility against fortune's whims, but also deepen your appreciation for life's true and lasting riches. Number 3, listen twice as much as you speak. Epictetus, a champion of Stoic thought, said that listening is one of the most important parts of being wise. He pushed for listening that goes beyond hearing in order to understand, relate, and connect on a level where real insights can grow. This way of listening shows respect for both the other person and the truth. Think about a time when you really listened. What revelations did that experience bring? How did it change your view or make your connections stronger? Stoicism teaches us that in the tapestry of human experience, every thread has its value and every voice its note. By incorporating this Stoic virtue into our daily lives, we do more than just improve our conversations. We also cultivate a state of calmness and clarity. We become adept at navigating life's complexities, armed not with hasty words, but with deep understanding and thoughtful responses. Join us in embracing this Stoic virtue in every interaction, whether it's quiet or loud. Commit to listening twice as much as you speak. Through this practice, one finds the peace that comes from deep understanding and the joy of discovering the world anew, one word at a time. How have you used the idea of listening twice as much as talking in your daily life? Please share your thoughts in the part below. Number 4. Make friends with winners. In the big picture of life, the people we choose to be with have an impact on our path just as much as the things we do and believe. Imagine being in a yard where each plant is a friend. Some plants are strong, thriving, and radiate. Vitality is a symbol of Stoic winners. People who are successful in the world but also have a lot of character ethics and Stoic virtues. Stoics, like the famous Marcus Aurelius, thought that the people we hang out with shape who we become. He said that the company we keep echoes in our being. By making friends with winners, those who handle life's storms with grace and courage, we are inspired to develop these traits in ourselves. These friendships are like lighthouses on our journey. They show us the way to personal growth and resilience by encouraging us to rise above small complaints, focus on what really matters, and live by the Stoic virtues in our daily lives. When we're with them, the little things that used to bother us stop bothering us, and we learn to act as if nothing bothers us, not because we don't care, but because we have a deep understanding of what is truly important. So let's look for these winner friends, not for the praise they get, but for their qualities, their spirit, and their ability to help us on our path to Stoicism. In their company, we find more than just camaraderie. We embark on a shared expedition toward virtue equality and the essence of winning in life. Number 5. Practice humility into your life. Today we're going to talk about principle number 5 by looking at the story of Kay the Younger. Kay was a great example of Stoic virtue, and he was known not only for his political smarts, but also for his deep humility. In ancient Rome, where power and showiness were the norm, Kay walked around in simple clothes, uninterested in the trappings of wealth and status. His humility wasn't just a lack of pride, it was a choice to put virtue above vanity. Value choice of simplicity over luxury. In a Stoic sense, humility means realizing that we are just actors on the stage of life, doing our part as best we can, but ultimately being controlled by the play's grand design. Being humble teaches us to accept our flaws, see our place in the bigger picture of life, and act with grace, whether things are going well or not. Remember that being humble doesn't mean putting yourself down. It means realizing how small our existence is in comparison to the universe. Accept humility not as a limitation, but as a way to freedom, like Kay does. Find strength in simplicity, virtue in modesty, and power in recognizing that we are all human. If you do this, you'll not only be able to get through life more easily and with less trouble, but you'll also inspire those around you to think about where true happiness and peace come from. Number 6. Always look for the good in things. A lot of people think that sadness is a sign of depression, but that's not true. Sadness is the opposite of happiness. When things go as planned, you're happy, and when they don't, you're unhappy. But did you know that in life's grand theater, where scenes of joy and sorrow mix, the Stoic stands tall? Serene, guided by a profound principle, always look for the good in things. This ethos is not a mere facade of positivity, but a deep-seated practice of perceiving the world through a lens of gratitude and opportunity on the journey of personal development. Stoics are equipped with the philosophy of finding the good in everything. Seek not the good in external things. Seek it in ourselves. Epictetus's motto is not a call to naivety or blind optimism, but an invitation to cultivate a perspective where challenges are not impediments, but opportunities for growth, and with wisdom encourages us to pursue the resilience and optimism that lurks within each of us. By consistently seeking the good in things, we cultivate a fortitude that remains unshaken by life's ebbs and flows. This practice enriches our experiences, deepens our understanding, and ensures that our journey through life is not just endured, but enriches with insight and serenity. In doing so, we truly learn to act as if nothing bothers us, not because we are indifferent, but because we have mastered the art of positive perception, seeing the good in every circumstance and ourselves. Number 7. Don't be afraid of failing, because it is the only way to progress. Are you scared to fail? People who are afraid of failure are not alone in their desire to follow their dreams. However, it is important to remember that failure is not permanent and is often a necessary step on the way to success. In the world of Stoicism, failure is not a sign of defeat, but a herald of opportunity. Consider the great Stoic Seneca, who faced exile, immense pressure, and immense challenges, yet viewed each obstacle as a chance to refine his character. And fortitude, like a skilled blacksmith, uses the heat of the forge to shape iron. So too can we use the trials of failure to shape our resilience and wisdom. In this Stoic view, failure is a teacher, a guide, and a catalyst that propels us forward. It is through our missteps that we gain insight, through our errors that we uncover wisdom, and through our setbacks that we find the strength to persevere. The Stoics do not act as if nothing bothers them by ignoring reality, but by accepting and embracing every aspect of it, including the inevitability of failure. So let us approach life with the Stoic courage to fail, to embrace each moment of faltering, not with trepidation, but with the knowledge that it is an essential ingredient in the recipe for progress. Let us learn to act as if nothing bothers us, not by building walls against failure, but by tearing them down, stepping boldly into the arena of life, ready to fall, ready to learn, and most importantly, ready to rise again stronger and wiser than before. If you agree, and like our Stoic principle, please show your agreement by leaving a comment below. Next we come to Number 8. A content spirit is true wealth. In today's busy world, where the search for outer success often overshadows the search for inner peace, Stoicism reminds us of what true prosperity is all about. Imagine living in a way that changes in your fortune, position, or possessions don't affect your inner calm. That's the wealth that Stoicism promotes, a treasure that remains unassailable by the whims of fate. Think of the Stoic philosopher Epicurus, who despite his humble beginnings and life's hardships, found richness in his existence through a content spirit. He taught that what bothers us are our thoughts, actions, and reactions. By changing our perspective and realizing that we are in charge of our thoughts, actions, and responses, we can access a source of happiness that no outside force can drain. This Stoic principle tells us not to give up on our goals or work hard, but to ground our efforts in a deeper sense of contentment. When we act like nothing is bothering us, it's not a sign of laziness, but a deep engagement with life. This is where we measure our wealth, not by what we have, but by how we live and the tranquility we cultivate. So let's embrace this Stoic view of wealth and strive not only for outer abundance, but for inner richness, a content spirit that shines brightly no matter what life throws at us. In doing so, we not only find true wealth, but also become shining examples of peace in a world that is full of chaos, living out the Stoic idea that happiness is the greatest treasure of all. Number 9. Do not cling to a single hope. In Stoicism, hope isn't seen as a passive or naive way to wait for luck to come our way. Instead, it's seen as a way to engage with the present, without getting too attached to specific futures. To avoid becoming too attached to one outcome, Stoic philosophers like the wise Seneca tell us to spread our hopes across all of life's possible outcomes. Diversification isn't a way to give up. It's a sign of how strong we are and how we can be happy no matter what the outside world throws at us. By letting go of a single hope, we open our sails to the winds of opportunity, learning, and growth that come from many directions. By following this Stoic lesson, we learn to act as if nothing bothers us, not because we don't care about what the world has to offer, but because our happiness isn't tied to a single hope or desire. We develop a spirit that is strong, joyful, and free, able to find fulfillment in the many ways that life unfolds. So let us move forward with this Stoic lesson as our guide, embracing all of life's possibilities and developing a spirit that isn't limited by narrow hopes. This is how we find true freedom and the art of living unscathed, based not on the fragility of single hopes, but on the strength of a content and flexible spirit. Number 10. Your reactions determine your future. Place yourself in a position where things don't go as planned. You have a choice. You can either get frustrated and angry and let the situation control your mood, or you can stay calm and see the problem as a chance to practice patience and resiliency. The first response might give you short-term relief, but it leads to a future full of bad things. The second option, on the other hand, sets you up for a future where you're in charge and not dependent on outside factors. In his thoughts, Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is what Stoicism is all about, realizing that we can't control everything in our lives, but we can control how we react to things, which shapes our future. When you're facing problems, remember that how you react has a big impact on your future. By choosing to react in an honest and logical way, you not only handle the present with grace, but you also set the stage for a future that is in line with your highest self. This is the way to true freedom, a life where we're not swayed by the winds of fortune, but remain steady no matter the storms we face. Number 11. Don't allow the comments and attitudes of others control your life. You might ask, should the fleeting words of another sway the solid foundation upon which you stand? Stoic philosophers teach us that true power lies within our own control, in our thoughts, actions, and reactions. When we internalize this knowledge, the noise of the world's views fades away, becomes less important, leaving us with our own voice, which is guided by reason and ethics. Accept this Stoic lesson and work on living a life where the outside world doesn't affect the inside world. Like the mountain, don't let other people's comments and attitudes shape your landscape. Instead, let them add to the tapestry of experiences that make up your life. By doing this, you learn to act as if nothing bothers you, not out of detachment, but because you know that your inner peace is yours to protect and grow into an unbreakable fortress in a world that is always changing. How have you dealt with the things people have said and done toward you? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Number 12. Friendship is above wealth. In the complex web of life where many roads meet, let us reflect on what really makes someone wealthy. The accumulation of material goods or the bonds we share with others. Build the relationships that keep us alive and the friendships we love. Stoics, like the wise Seneca, thought that friendship was one of life's best gifts, a source of happiness and strength. He wisely said that the person who wants more is poor, not the person who has little. In this light, think about what you value more, the temporary allure of material wealth or the lasting richness of true friendship. In our search for peace and happiness, being calm teaches us to value the things in life that are truly necessary. Trustworthy friends who are with us on this journey. They are our safety in the storm, our counsel when we're confused, and our joy when we're celebrating. In fact, they are the picture of life's greatest wealth. So, let's treat our friendships with the same care and respect that we would give a valuable garden, even though we don't know that it's in these ties that we find the richest and most satisfying kind of wealth, one that feeds the soul and lasts longer than material things. Number 13. Let go of what you can't control. We often face storms in life that we can't control, like a leaf caught in a gust of wind, but don't worry, Stoicism can help you get through them. Remember, let go of what you can't control. This teaching isn't an invitation to give up on life. It's an invitation to embrace the power we do have, the power to shape how we see and react to things. By practicing Stoicism, We learn to act as if nothing bothers us, not because we don't care, but because we deeply understand that our tranquility isn't based on what's going on around us. We become like the strong oak that bends in the fierce wind but doesn't break, because it knows that even though it can't control the wind, it can control how it reacts to it. If you follow this principle, you will develop a calm heart and a strong spirit. By doing this, you will not only handle life's unexpected turns with grace, but you will also be an example of the Stoic idea that true power is not in controlling the outside world, but in controlling yourself. Number 14. Ignore those who hate you. When someone hates you, they're really testing your ability to be fair and your dedication to your values. Hatred is just an outside force that can't be controlled, like the wind. Just as a smart sailor doesn't complain about how rough the sea is, he adjusts his sails. So too must we learn to handle the rough waters of other people's dislike with grace and poise. But how can we do this? The first step is to realize that other people's dislike often says more about their struggles, their perceptions, and their journey than it does about your worth or your actions. By accepting this, you create a wall between yourself and their negativity, which lets you act as if nothing bothers you, not out of arrogance or apathy, but from a deep place inside. Accept this Stoic wisdom not as a shield to hide behind, but as a way to improve our character. When faced with hatred, go back to your principles, your values, and the core of who you are. By seeing things this way, you give yourself the power to rise above the fray and live up to the Stoic ideal. Real peace doesn't come from not having any conflicts, but from having inner harmony. Number 15. Always remember your mortality. Why should we keep reminding ourselves that we are going to die? Is it to put a shadow over our lives or to fill our days with the urgency of authentic living? When we realize that our time is limited, the small worries that often bother us become less important. When you think about how temporary life is, ask yourself what really needs your worry, your drive and attention. Remembering that we will die one day makes us look at our lives from a higher perspective, separating the important from the fleeting. It makes us ask ourselves, if today were my last day, how would I want to live? This question is not a call to recklessness, but to a deeper connection with the present, cherishing every moment, every connection, and every chance to grow and contribute, so let us do it. Take this Stoic advice to heart. Letting the knowledge that we are going to die help us set better goals. Getting rid of our worries and giving our daily lives a sense of purpose and peace helps us learn to act as if nothing bothers us, because we know what's most important. Navigating life with the grace and calmness of those who see the bigger picture and cherish the finite dance of existence. On our journey through Stoic wisdom today, we need treasures that teach us how to act as if nothing bothers us, not by apathy, but by deep understanding and control over our reactions. Accept these lessons as your shield and guide. Remember that what bothers us is how we think about things that happen in the outside world. Let this Stoic wisdom light your path, giving you the power to live with unwavering serenity and purposeful action every moment of your life. If you find these lessons helpful, please let us know by leaving a comment below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our other journeys. Goodbye and see you soon.